Hello everyone. Today's session is about the OpenStack Enterprise File Sync and Share solution with Active Directory integration. It's the same setup. The OpenStack Swift is provided from an Ubuntu 64-bit server in the virtual machine here. We also have a newly installed copy of the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise, and now this time it's the Enterprise Edition, so single company edition. And now here we are looking at the Active Directory integration page after the initial setup and now it's the initial configuration. You can skip this step if you want to configure it later on. You can always do that later, but since it's available now, you can do so. So we've done the Active Directory, and now here is the storage part, right? So it's a connector, so you can connect the Active Directory in. Now you can connect the OpenStack in as well. So now we are using Keystone. We have that running in Ubuntu with dev stack, so it has the Keystone on. So we are going to be using Keystone to connect to OpenStack. You don't have to if you have V1 authentication. So now we are providing the default username and credential to connect to the OpenStack. And now you have a choice to create a new container or use a default one or an old one. So now this time we're going to be creating a new container, and we're going to name it tenant 11. So that's the container name we're going to be using. And it's going to take a while, maybe 30 seconds, or a little bit longer, because it needs to connect the storage, set up the database entries and all those kind of setup steps. And after it's done, you will be looking at the file browser. You have documents and files, right? So you see those folders, and those folders are coming from OpenStack. So now let's take a look. Take a look at OpenStack. So we are at the dashboard. I believe it's the Horizon dashboard. So let's take a look at the object storage. So object store, containers. It's loading, and there you go. You see our tenant number 11, right? Tenant 11 container that's newly created from the initial setup, because we told it to create a new container, and then it did. So that's good. So now we can also log in because this is the Enterprise Edition. So it's single tenant, right? So everybody is using is from the same company and connecting to the same Active Directory. You could have non-Active Directory users later on, such as guest users. You want to share with someone else from other companies. You can do those kind of things later on. But for normal user, you can connect. You can have the Active Directory users in first. So for the Active Directory, we will be looking at the Active Directory server first to confirm our users that we will be importing to the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise, the file sync and share. As you can see here, there's tenant 11 organization unit, and there are two users, T11E1 and T11E2. So that's tenant number 11 in employee number 1 and tenant number 11 employee number 2. So we are looking at the user manager here. So last time we do an add new user, simple email user, but this time we're going to import user from LDAP, and then we're going to say name contains T11 to select all the T11 users. So we found two, T11E1 and T11E2. So we will be importing those two users into the system here, so they will be able to use the file sync and share solution here, and then with the backend storage on OpenStack Swift. So now it's done. The two users are imported, so they are ready to go. So as usual, we will launch a different browser. So normally those users will have receive a welcome email and then instructions on how to log in. So for demo purpose, we just log the same user from the same machine, but using a different browser. So now we are using T11E1 to log in, and the username and credentials are all from Active Directory. You can manage the user identities there from one single place instead of two different places. So all the user identities and password and add user, delete user, you can manage all those things from Active Directory, and it's native integration here. So now, as usual, we will upload some files to the web portal. So file sync and share solution, you have files, and then later on you can synchronize and share and collaborate on those files, right? And then you can collaborate on those files over different kind of devices. And then for this session is focused more on the Active Directory. So for these, we will just using the web browser and also using the Windows client, right? So in Windows client, we're going to be logging in the same T11E1 user, and then the access point would be our enterprise edition and the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise. And then you're going to see that the Windows client is showing up. It's a drive ladder. Under the drive ladder, you have your we just created this folder a while ago from the web portal, right? So whether or not it's from the web portal, from the Windows device, you get the same files and folders view. And that's the Active Directory user. Thank you very much. Bye.